In order to find the solution to this system, we're going to use substitution. And then I just want to point out before we start working that it only asks what are the y coordinates of the solution. So basically we're going to solve this, and then the final answer would just be whatever the y coordinates are of the solution. All right, so to do substitution, I would take the equation that's already solved for y, which is this one right here, and I would substitute 7x minus 7 where there's a y in the second equation. So normally, I would say we should take 7x minus 7 and put it on the left. I always like to have my quadratic term on the left. It just saves me a step. So that's how I want my equation to look. So now I have to put everything on one side. So I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. And then I will also add 7 to both sides. So I end up with x squared minus 4x plus 3, and then everything on the right cancels out, giving us 0. So now at this point, I think the easiest way to solve this is by factoring. So I'm going to do an easy diamond over here. I need two numbers that multiply to 3 and add to negative 4, which is negative 3 and negative 1. So this factors into x minus 3, x minus 1, and it still equals 0. Now I can take each of these factors and set them each equal to 0, and then when I solve them, that will give me my x coordinates. So for this first one, I would add 3 to both sides, and I would get that x equals 3. And then for this one, I would add 1 to both sides and get that x equals 1. So I have half of my solution, but in order to really answer this question, I need to figure out what the y coordinates are. So one at a time, I'm going to plug in my x coordinates. So I'm going to do once for x equals 3 and once for x equals 1. I'm going to choose to plug it back into 7x minus 7 because that's going to be less work for us. So it's going to be 7x minus 7, which is 21 minus 7, or 14. So that's one of my final answers. And then if I plug in x equals 1, that would be 7 minus 7, which is 0. So the actual answer to the question is what are the y coordinates, which is y equals 14 and y equals 0.